coming in. Sanders is off the field with his helmet off. Let's check it with Evan.
Yeah, he rushed right off the field, headed to the locker room or the tent right now. It's his pinky finger. Appeared to either be his nail or the tip of the finger.
It was another heartbreak for the Cleveland Browns, falling to the Buffalo Bills 23-20 in a game that left fans biting their nails till the final whistle. But even in the loss, one name stood out like a flare in the dark: Shedeur Sanders. The rookie quarterback who got rocked early in the game with some vicious hits refused to back down. He came all season. Everyone knew Cleveland was in offense. It's been shaky all year, struggling to find any real rhythm. Still, hope in Cleveland was resting squarely on one man's shoulders: Shedeur Sanders, the kid with nerves of steel and a cannon for an arm. And right from his first snap, Sanders made it clear why the job belongs to him. He stepped onto that field calm, locked in, and fearless. He didn't just play, he commanded the moment. Then it happened. A perfectly timed rocket straight into his receiver's hands for a jaw-dropping touchdown. The crowd erupted. Browns fans were on their feet screaming his name. And for that instant, it felt like the tide could turn. That touchdown wasn't luck, it was precision under pressure. Sanders read the defense like a veteran, released that ball a split second before the hit, and still dropped it right on target. It was the kind of throw that says, "Yeah, I'm him!" Even as the Bills' defense closed in, Sanders stood tall and fired without hesitation. His accuracy, decision-making, and grit had analysts and fans across the league buzzing. For a fleeting moment, it looked like Cleveland might pull off something special. Sanders' confidence was contagious. Every pass, every read, every snap oozed potential. His first touchdown wasn't just a highlight, it was a statement. The Browns might not have walked away with the win, but they walked away knowing one thing for sure: Shedeur Sanders isn't just the future, he's the spark that could rewrite Cleveland's story. The Browns were in control, up on the scoreboard, and ready to shock everyone watching. For a moment, it felt like Cleveland was about to steal one from the mighty Buffalo Bills. But the Bills' defense had other plans, and they flipped the switch fast. Known across the league as one of the most ruthless, hard-hitting squads out there, Buffalo decided they weren't letting a rookie make them look crashing through like a pack of wild bulls, loud, fast, and mean. Sanders, still new to the league, was taking punishment that would rattle even a seasoned vet. The Bills' defensive line wasn't just chasing him, they were hunting him down every play. Midway through the second quarter, one brutal moment silenced the crowd. Sanders released a pass just as a defender exploded through the pocket and smashed into him. The hit was nasty, straight to his hand, and the sound of it echoed. Sanders hit the turf, clutching his arm as the stadium gasped. He stayed down for a few tense seconds before trainers rushed in. When he finally stood up, shaking it off, the crowd of Browns fan watching knew if Sanders couldn't come back, the whole game might collapse. The rookie had been their spark, and now that spark looked like it might have been snuffed out. But then, in true fighter fashion, he came back. Despite the pain, despite the swelling, Sanders wasn't about to sit and watch his team fall apart. He jogged back out after halftime, eyes locked in, body clearly hurting but spirit unbroken. The Bills had control now, but Sanders, he was out there throwing punches with every snap. His receivers weren't getting open, protection was crumbling, yet he refused to fold. What came next showed why people are already calling him the future of Cleveland. Sanders started threading passes through tiny windows, standing tall even as defenders crashed around him. Every throw screamed toughness, every read showed growth. He was calm, fearless, and locked in under fire. The kid wasn't just playing, he was proving he belonged in this league, pain or not. He wasn't rattled by the punishment, not one bit. Every time the Bills' defense knocked him down, Shedeur Sanders got back up with fire in his eyes and grit in his voice. You could see the pain, but you could also see the pride. This kid was built different. Each hit only fueled him more, and when he dropped back to throw, he unleashed passes that looked straight out of a highlight reel. But even with all that heart, the Browns' offense just couldn't cash in. The chemistry wasn't there, and Sanders was forced to do everything himself.
That's what it is. I can't think about it. I can't,
Time and time again, he delivered perfect spirals right into his receivers' hands, and time again, they let him down. drops, misreads, missed timing. It was brutal. You could feel the frustration building as Sanders launched another beauty downfield, only for it to slip right through a receiver's fingers. It wasn't that the defense was unbeatable, it was that his teammates couldn't keep up. The Browns' receiving core just wasn't clicking, and in a game like this, every missed catch felt like a dagger. Meanwhile, across the field, Josh Allen was putting on a clinic. The Bills' quarterback was in full control, carving up Cleveland's defense like it was practice. His chemistry with his wideouts and tight ends was flawless. Every route was crisp, every throw precise. Allen was moving the ball with ease, showing exactly why he's one of the NFL's elite. 3 touchdown passes later, it was clear. Buffalo had a machine running on all cylinders, while Cleveland was trying to hold it together with willpower and tape. Still, even in that chaos, Sanders refused to crumble. He kept fighting, kept launching strikes, and by the end of it, his 67% completion rate stood as a personal best. That's not just solid, that's extraordinary considering what he was up against. Think about it. Constant pressure, no protection, receivers dropping passes, and he still completed nearly 7 out of 10 throws. That's toughness you can't teach. But it wasn't the stat line that had people talking. It was his heart, his composure, his will to keep pushing even when everything around him fell apart. That 67% wasn't just a number, it was a statement, a warning to every team out there that Shedeur Sanders isn't backing down. Not today, not ever. Even when it was obvious that the Browns were outgunned on both sides of the ball, Shedeur Sanders refused to let that game end without swinging back hard. He was dropping dimes like a seasoned vet, reading defenses with poise and showing the kind of leadership that can't be coached. You could see it, the hunger, the determination, the calm in the chaos. While the scoreboard tilted in Buffalo's favor, Sanders played like a man on a mission, refusing to let his team fold. The Browns may have lost, but they never quit, and that's because Sanders wouldn't let them. As the Bills started to pull away, everyone watching knew one thing for sure. The only reason Cleveland was even in the fight was because of Sanders. He was the heartbeat of the squad, the one keeping the energy alive, the one saying, "We're not done yet." Josh Allen might have put on a masterclass for Buffalo, but Sanders stole the spotlight with his raw grit and spirit. His composure under pressure made him the soul of the Browns that night. The player fans could believe in when everything else was falling apart. His passion was contagious. Teammates fed off his drive. Fans felt it through the screen. In a season filled with criticism and chaos, his performance was like oxygen for Cleveland, a reminder that there's still fight left in this franchise. Sanders didn't just play, he inspired. He showed what it means to stand tall when the world's expecting you to break. Sure, the stat sheet had its blemishes, a couple of sacks, an interception here or there, but that's not what mattered. What people will remember is how he took those hits, shook them off, and came right back throwing lasers. That's what defines a competitor. His career-high completion rate, his refusal to crumble, and his ability to adapt mid-battle turned what could have been another forgettable loss into a showcase of heart and toughness. Every time he got knocked down, he rose with more fire. Every interception wasn't a defeat, it was motivation. He never let mistakes define him. He used them as fuel. That's the mark of a real quarterback, someone who turns pain into performance and setbacks into statements. Shedeur Sanders didn't just survive that game, he owned it with heart, pride, and unshakable resilience. His toughness said it all. Every time Shedeur Sanders got hit, he came back swinging harder, refusing to let pain or pressure break him. That fire, that drive to keep leading his team even when the game seemed out of reach, showed exactly what kind of man he is. It wasn't about the sacks, it wasn't about the picks, it was about that unshakable fight. That heart-on-his-sleeve determination that kept fans glued to their screens and teammates believing till the very end. And looking ahead, one thing's crystal clear. Shedeur Sanders is the future of the Cleveland Browns. The kid's got the poise, the arm, and the mental toughness every great quarterback needs. As he grows, sharpens his reads, and builds chemistry with his offense, he's destined to become one of the league's most dangerous playmakers. What we saw against the Bills wasn't just a good outing, it was a preview of the monster he's becoming. Sure, the Browns didn't walk away with the win, but Sanders walked away with something far more valuable: respect. not just from Cleveland fans, but from people all across the league who saw a young QB stand tall against one of the toughest defenses in football and never blink. That kind of heart doesn't fade, it grows. He proved that even when everything's falling apart, a true leader finds a way to keep fighting. The Browns' future finally looks alive. With Sanders running the show, they've got a leader who won't fold, no matter how ugly the game gets. He's not just a rookie trying to survive, he's a warrior learning how to win. So here's the real question. Did Shedeur Sanders prove he's more than just the new kid on the block? Did he show the world he's got the heart, grit, and leadership to carry the Browns into a new era? Drop your take below, and if you believe in Sanders' fight, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more breakdowns just like this. What's wild is how fast this kid's story is spreading. Across sports talk shows, podcasts, and social media, everyone's suddenly saying the same thing. Shedeur Sanders has that it factor. The kind of presence that doesn't just show up on the field, it changes the whole locker room vibe. You can see his teammates rallying around him, coaches defending him, and fans demanding the team build around him. That's leadership you can't fake. It's earned the hard way through bruises, sweat, and raw heart. Analysts can talk stats all they want, but this goes beyond numbers. Sanders is shifting the Browns' culture in real time. After years of instability and false starts at quarterback, Cleveland finally has a player who doesn't crack under pressure, he doesn't whine, doesn't point fingers, he just fights. Every drive, every play, every hit, it's personal for him. And that energy, it's contagious. Even veterans are starting to move different because of the standard Sanders is setting. You can feel that this moment, this tough loss, might actually be the turning point. Yeah, the Browns still have major holes to fix, but now there's something real to believe in. Sanders isn't waiting for the perfect system. He's out there forcing one to exist. When a rookie quarterback can take a powerhouse defense like Buffalo's and still keep the game close, that's not luck. That's talent, discipline, and raw willpower. The next few games will tell a lot, but if this performance is any sign, the Browns just found their cornerstone. The player fans can finally rally behind without hesitation. The league better take notice because this wasn't a one-night spark. This was the birth of a problem for defenses everywhere. So the question isn't whether Shedeur Sanders is the future, it's how soon he'll take over completely. The heart, the grit, the leadership, it's all there. Cleveland's been waiting a long time for a quarterback who can rewrite their story. And now it looks like he's already started the first chapter. If you're ready to see where this goes next, hit that like button, drop your thoughts in the comments, and make sure to subscribe, because the Shedeur Sanders era in Cleveland has officially begun. Every great story in football starts with a moment when the world finally pays attention, and this feels like that moment for Shedeur Sanders. He's not just playing games anymore. He's building a legacy right in front of our eyes. The way he's carrying himself, the way he's handling pressure, the way he's demanding accountability, that's what separates potential from greatness. The Browns might have lost to Buffalo, but they gained something no stat sheet can measure: belief. And let's be real, Cleveland hasn't had that in a long time. Season after season of quarterback chaos, locker room tension, and broken promises left fans desperate for something real. But now, they've got it. Sanders is bringing a new energy. One built on confidence, focus, and grit. You can see it in how his teammates look at him, how the crowd reacts when he steps onto the field, how even opposing players respect his hustle. He's not playing scared, he's playing hungry. The next test will be how the coaching staff responds. Because make no mistake, if the Browns want to protect their future, they've got to protect their quarterback. That means building the offense around his strengths, giving him better weapons, and keeping him upright long enough to unleash that arm. The Bills showed the world what happens when Sanders has to do everything himself. And he still made it look competitive. Imagine what he could do with real support. And that's what's got fans excited. They're not just watching for touchdowns anymore, they're watching for transformation. They're seeing a young leader push through pain, adversity, and criticism and still come out shining. Sanders is changing what it means to wear that Browns uniform. And people are noticing across the city, across the league, across every debate show that used to laugh at Cleveland. This is how a franchise turns a page. Not with luck, but with someone who refuses to quit when it's hard. That's Sanders' trademark. So as the season rolls on, don't be surprised if the same voices that once doubted him start calling him the future face of the league. Cleveland might have lost on the scoreboard, but they just found something far more valuable. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss what happens next in the rise of Shedeur Sanders. So here's the real question. Everyone's asking, how much do you think Shedeur Sanders' resilience and raw determination will shape his development from here on out? Can he truly overcome the challenge of a weak receiving core, or is it finally time for the breaks? Every kind of player he's becoming. He's not just learning how to win, he's learning how to carry a franchise on his back. That's what separates great quarterbacks from temporary hype. But will the Browns see it in time? Will they build around him before frustration takes over? These next few months could define both his career and the direction of the entire organization. So what do you think, Browns fans? Can Sanders rise above all this pressure and become the true franchise quarterback Cleveland's been waiting for? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I want to hear your take. And if you're riding with Shedeur Sanders through every high, every setback, and every comeback, make sure to like, share, and subscribe, because this story is only getting crazier from here. I'll catch you on the next one.